Welcome back to 405 Sports. Today we are talking about our Oklahoma City Thunder, and kind of feeling good about them right now at the moment. Obviously, Shea is doing what Shea is doing, which we've seen for 4 years now. So it's kind of like, as a fan, you feel like Shea's been doing this for 4 years, but obviously he's putting up 30 now. So
Yeah.
little bit different than those last couple of years of 20 to 24 to now 30. So, Josh Giddey started off the year pretty slow in terms of points, and now he's
going.
He's turned that around, and they're 5-1 in their last 6 with the loss to Miami, where Miami shot 40 free throws. So that game was a little annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Also put 150 on the Celtics. You were there for that game?
I was there. I was in attendance. It was kind of unbelievable.
Especially because we didn't even mention no Shea.
No Shea. Figured that out about an hour and a half before the game. It's like, awesome. Now we're going to get blitzed by 50.
Had nothing to do with his body, just he was sick.
He was sick and then played the next night.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Yeah. Got Giddey's last 10 game stats here. He's averaging 20 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6 assists on 52% from the field.
And what he just did to the Nets last night, I mean, I think his stat line ended up being...
Benjamin was scared of him.
Benjamin was scared of him because he is what Benjamin Simmons should be.
Yeah.
Put up a nice little 28, 9, and 9 with 1 turnover.
Yeah.
That'd be a plus 14 plus minus.
On his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 3 straight games over 20 points, man. And those are no slouch opponents there. 76ers are in there, and the Bulls aren't bad either. Just don't play defense.
Yeah. And can't say this enough. Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara, I mean, what a steal that was in terms of a draft pick. You know, you kind of think like...
What are we doing? Trading these picks?
Yeah, we trade up for Ousmane Dieng.
Yeah.
At
When we
11.
got the next freaking pick or whatever.
Yeah, and we thought we had just traded that pick for this guy,
Mm-hmm.
when in reality we traded 3 future ones and still draft Jalen Williams. And but what you're thinking at that moment is heck, you could have drafted Jalen Duren, AJ Griffin,
We're all good right now.
who are all don't get me wrong.
Duren would help a good amount.
Duren would help with Chet being out, but I guess we also predicted Chet would be
Healthy
on the team.
You can't predict an injury when you're drafting.
Yeah, especially when it's in a pro-am game against LeBron.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to see Johnny Davis at pick 10. The poor guy doesn't even play, and he can't even hoop in the G League.
Yeah. Call him if he was here. He'd tell you all about it. Does not enjoy Wisconsin Badgers and Johnny Davis.
In terms of anything. So even Jalen Williams out of Arkansas, you know, I like him a lot too. You know, he takes a lot of charges,
He fouls a lot as well.
Does foul a lot.
We need to work on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I remember Jalen Williams in the recruiting process because Oklahoma State was in his top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I remember he liked one of my comments, and he was one of the first recruits to one of my comments. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then he committed to Arkansas, and I was like, well,
Not the first time.
right. And not to mention Trey Mann.
Or the last.
No, it'll happen soon.
No, and Baisley played good the other day.
Basically,
He must be reading the hate comments.
He must be. Because there's games you'll watch him, and he'll drop a nice 12 and 8, and you're like, we'll give you another chance. Comes out, has
nothing. Doesn't even play.
Yeah. Has 4 and 2, and you're like, well, you just can't understand Baisley.
Which he definitely made some fans the other day. Our reporter asked him, he's like, does this affect your play when some days you're asked to play 20 minutes and then some days you don't play at all? And he's like, that'll never be the issue. It's not about me. about the team. I'm like, well, I mean, that's hard for a person to say that's not doesn't have a consistent role on the team. At least he's not like Lindy and is bouncing up and down. But I'm sure Lindy's just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Being from here and everything.
Yeah, that is good for Lindy. Because even Lindy, sometimes he comes in there, knocks down a couple threes, and
sure does.
And every NBA team needs that. I mean,
looks like they're just trying to develop his defense, man, and he could help.
Yeah, he could definitely be a key piece. Like, you know, when you look at the Thunder, when they were on those runs, they always had. I mean, Anthony Morrow was a good shooter. You know, he even brought in an older Derek Fisher, Dion Waiters. Obviously, those guys might score a little bit all around better. But
Abrinas.
Forgot about Abrinas. Technically, Kyle Singler's one too, but
yeah,
he got the bag and then was terrible.
He's gone.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, I think we still pay him to put some of his money because instead of giving him the full $5 million on his last year, I think we were like, bro, let's just
spread it out.
Yeah, spread it out a little bit, like the dude for the Mets. Is that done this year? I think.
Yeah, it should be done.
Yeah, so the Thunder are currently
just out of the playing game.
Yeah,
pretty close.
Just out of the play-in.
I'd consider it tied for it, but
yeah. So actually, I think
because we're winning tonight.
I think we will jump Phoenix because Phoenix is down by 20 right now, which I guess it doesn't mean anything since the Jaguars just came back from 20. But you know, I mean, I don't hate the idea of just jumping in there and trying to get into the playing game, and you know, I think I like the idea of it personally.
Like they're ready.
I do too, and
they thought it'd be another one where you just kind of float around, wait till All-Star break, and then start to have players get injured. Yeah. But I think we're gonna go for it. I think Presti's probably okay with it.
Yeah,
knowing what we've got in the future, and even since how good Jalen Williams has been, getting the pick like the 15th or 14th pick, especially this class, maybe just fine.
You can even a guy, you have pieces that you could trade up. Like you could trade 15 and
absolutely
a Trey Man,
and we may not need all of these guys. I mean,
yeah,
who knows what Baisley's future is, and a couple of those other guys. But
there's definitely young guys on the team that you could be like, all right. He just doesn't make sense right now.
Yeah.
Trade our first, this guy, and maybe another guy, and we move up in the draft if you don't like your 15th selection, which is very possible. But this, like you said, this draft class is a class where you can be fine with being at 15 because I feel like you could find maybe Anthony Black, just depends.
Yeah.
He does have a lot of upside. Keontae George, Cason Wallace, Grady Dick. Leonard Miller, I mean...
Shoot, yeah, Leonard Miller.
He hasn't been the greatest at the G League, but, I mean, he is playing with Scoot Henderson, so that, you know, definitely doesn't help. But
there's some usage away.
Yeah. There's also there's big guys in this draft. Dylan Mitchell, we saw him. He was...
Freak athlete, man. Texas always gets him.
He is a freak athlete. Definitely liked his defense more than I liked his offense a little bit, but... He isn't an offense that is.
His role is definitely not to score.
No,
on that team.
No, he is. He can guard pretty much. I think like probably 2 to 5. I think he can guard all of those positions. Even point guard. I think he has the ability to guard the point guards. But yeah, man, I like the Thunder's future. I really do.
I don't speak for all Thunder fans, but I feel like a good majority said they trust Presti's drafting history.
Right.
So regardless of what pick we have, I'm sure it's not going to be a bust.
Yeah. And
what he chooses to do with those 50 million picks that we have in the upcoming.
You know what I wouldn't hate is trading for a guy like an OG Anunoby.
That's what I've seen a lot, man.
He wants out.
I saw the percentages of players that call ISO on him. They're shooting like below 25% or something ridiculous. Like he 3-and-D. We
really wouldn't need him for scoring.
No, we would not. He'd be like Lou Dort, but just lock up constantly.
Yeah, and the problem with Lou Dort is he's a little small.
Yeah,
he's
kind of ball hog sometimes.
In that too, there's times you watch the game and you're like, Lou, you're not Shea.
If you swing it to him, he's pulling from 3. Dude.
Yeah, 100%. And that
shoot when he's on, I guess pull it, but
yeah,
there's times when Shea's cooking.
Yeah, Shea or Giddey is cooking, or even Jalen Williams. I do like Lou, but at the same time, the thought of OG Anunoby on that team is a good one. I don't know how you would, if you could even if you
could get Pascal or something like that. Holy cow,
that would be huge.
They all three seem like they may not be there for much longer.
I saw a clip of
Fred and all them.
Yeah, I saw a clip of OG talking to Halliburton, and he said, "Get me or trade for me."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Trade for me," and I don't know. That team's kind of falling apart right now.
I think it was OG. They had they were pulling up in transition, and Fred just launched from 40 feet, and OG just turned around and started walking back.
He's done that,
way.
And so has Gary.
Yeah.
Gary Trent has done that too.
It was Gary Trent. Yeah.
They've both done it. You're right. They've both done it.
But Gary does his fair share of pulling. As well.
Gary does. Gary Trent sure does pull. Which is kind of shocking that team's not doing. I mean, they're 20.
No, they've got talent. That is for sure.
Yeah,
There's another dude on there we forgot from Oregon. Is Chris Boucher.
Saw that in the comments of the TikTok.
Mm-hmm. It's our bad.
Yeah, even Scotty Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of guys on that team. Malachi Flynn. But yeah, you got to feel good about the Thunder's future. Right now, 21-23. You don't have Chet. You know, Poku and JRE, who are your two guys that you were pretty much using as your quote-unquote centers, are both out. You're still winning games without them.
Yeah, you're putting Mike Muscala down there.
Yeah. No kidding.
Jalen's been good. I mean, he's that freak athlete as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the reverse layup packages he's got, you should not be able to do.
No.
At his weight and height there.
I don't know what his wingspan is, but at 6'6", I think it's like 7 foot.
I think it's something ridiculous.
It is definitely ridiculous. And one guy that we really didn't mention, Isaiah Joe. He's another guy that he kind of hurts Lindy's chances of PT.
He does, for sure, because that was Lindy's job.
That was, and he comes in and he hits.
Wet.
He's shooting 43% this year from 3.
I like Wiggins too. I forget about him all the time. I like him.
Aaron is like Baisley, where sometimes he plays and then sometimes you're like, well, where is it? So I do like, he is very good defensively.
Yeah, he started the game I went to against the Celtics.
Maryland. I was gonna say Minnesota, but yeah, no, he is very good. Especially at the end of the year, last year, whenever Shea and Giddey and Lou, none of those guys were playing, he was hooping last year. I remember that. So I don't know.
The overall talk about the Thunder around the league is just like they're kind of fun to watch. I think I saw Kuzma say it on Twitter like last night. He's like, "Yo, the Thunder kind of OKC's fun. They're hot right now."
Kind of reminds me of like the team with Chris Paul now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we were given like most sports books gave us like 18 to 22 wins, and I was like,
we're there.
You should hammer that over because I
too much talent.
You're adding too many guys to this team to the point where it's like, because I even said that when we had Chet.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, take the over, and Jalen Williams, like there's guys that are, and Josh Giddey's only gonna get better, and look at the boys, man. Just
that's kind of how some of the bias is with the MLB right now. They just released the win totals like a week ago, and there's some that are just way, way too high. I think the Phillies are way too high because they're not going to have Bryce Harper for a long part of the season, and they are just not the same team without him. He's basically their hitting coach.
Yeah. I guess Trey Turner will be.
He will help, yeah.
Massive, but Bryce Harper is Bryce Harper, so.
Yeah, they counted us out a little bit, but.
Hey, man. We'll take it.
We're there, man. Trey Mann's fun to watch. All these dudes.
All those guys, man. Hopefully get JRE Poku back soon. Get those guys playing.
Yeah, we could be good.
Yeah.
I can promise you we won't get swept if we make it to a playoff series. I don't think we'll get swept.
I think, obviously, the Thunder crowds aren't the greatest right now. They're usually probably like 50%, something like that. They're definitely not the greatest right now. But when you go, they're pretty loud. They're a pretty loud game. But
they got pretty loud at that Celtics game.
Yeah. But when we were in our prime and had KD and Russ and Harden and all those guys, we were called Loud City for a reason.
For a reason.
For a reason. And I think if you give us a playoff game and it's probably coming back. It's probably not starting in OKC. No. We're not saying that. No. That's a long shot to have that.
No.
But coming back to OKC.
Especially since it'll be like a 1 or 2 seed, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, that would be awesome. I've been to one before. I
It
went.
was 92% against the Celtics. Yeah, I thought it was pretty full.
That's good. I feel like definitely better teams you get
Mhm.
really good crowds. But if you get a team like the Hornets or something, it's
That was the idea behind it. I was like, the Celtics are good. Marcus Smart will be there, even though
Right.
he got ejected. But I definitely didn't give us a good shot to win the game.
yeah.
Especially blow them out.
No, the only playoff game I've ever been to was the series when Dame hit the shot. Obviously, I wasn't there because that's Portland. But I think
Do we win?
no, we lost. But
Sam's got a history of that.
my history actually just got broken. I was on a good I think it ended up being 11 game losing streak. Finally got rid of that.
I think my streak right now is just blowouts. Last 4 games or so. I've gone to
you got
Warriors. They had everybody too. Blew them. I don't think they had Durant though. That was the year after he left, but killed them. Russ came back, killed them. Now
Yeah.
the Celtics killed them.
Yeah, because they had D'Lo, Clay.
They sure did have D'Lo.
Oh, did they have Clay? I don't think they had. No.
Somebody got ejected that game.
I think it was D'Lo.
I think it was D'Lo.
Yeah, I think it was. That was the game when I was like, dude, this Shea guy,
Mm-hmm.
pretty damn good.
Yeah, that was another one of those games where we just couldn't miss. Didn't
Yeah.
matter what the Warriors did.
Yeah. Okay, I think the one I went to, that's what it was. Dame played bad. Not bad, but he had 24, but CJ had 27. And it was, I don't know. It was definitely loud, though. So I definitely agree that if we get in the playoffs, I agree we could take one because I think Loud City will show for that. The Oklahoma City Thunder, possible playoff team, maybe playing team. We'll see
Just
how
go
that
for
goes.
it.
Just go for it, man. Maybe even get Chet back at the very end. You never know. So, high hopes for this team. High hopes for their future. Thank you for watching the video. Peace.